You guys know I absolutely love this time of year. Halloween is right around the corner. It's just a couple weeks away. So I wanted to put out some really fun DIYs for you guys. So right now I'm actually at Kroger just going through their home decor selection, what they offer for Halloween and fall. I'm just kind of trying to get a little bit of inspiration on what is for sale and what I'm able to kind of make myself, like dupe, I guess, in a way. But I did come up with some original Halloween DIYs in this video, so I really hope you guys stay to the end to see what I came up with. Alright, now that we've gone through Kroger, got our little inspiration. Oh, by the way, I really love these little mugs. They're so cute. For this project, you're going to need 3 of the skull heads from Dollar Tree, some tape. We're going to be taping up the holes. We're going to need some scissors to cut in a hole at the top of the base of the skull. 3 candles. I picked up these black ones, so I thought I'd go with the spooky vibe. And then over here I have some mortar or some cement mix I just got from the hardware store. Let's get started. The first thing you need to do is tape up the holes of the skulls. I had actually got these skulls from Dollar Tree, and they had this little thing on the bottom that came down, and there was a little platform. So it looked like a little like skeleton trophy. So anyways, I just popped those off, and now we're gonna be taping them up. And you just need a little bit of duct tape. This is just to hold that cement in when we pour it. There is also a hole right here at the chin I need to tape up. We just need to basically seal it up. Okay, so once it's sealed, then in the top, we can go ahead and cut our hole. So I just lay it flat so we kind of know where the candle should be, and it's gonna be right in this general area. I wanna cut it from here to probably here. We're also gonna probably need a cup or something of some sort to hold down a little hole for where we will pour the candle. Cup of rocks or something like that. That will hold the cement in place. Cutting this perfectly round is kind of hard. I think that looks good once it's sitting. Pour in our concrete and let it sit. Okay, so I found some cardboard tubes here, and I just put some tape on the bottom of one end. And I also have these glass beads I'm gonna be pouring into the tube once we get it inserted in here. Go ahead and get my concrete mix ready. I have a little spatula to mix it up. Place it here, and I'm going to kind of put a little bit in at a time. I want to make sure it gets down into the bottom portion of it. And we'll just pour some of these in. Then we have to let that sit for a minute. I just don't think I'm going to be actually able to fit all of this candle in that little space. Maybe we only need 1 candle. Alright, I finished them up off camera. Now I have to let them sit and dry like this. I had some leftover cement, and I found this in my craft stash. Little skeleton hand. I'm gonna try and fill this up and see how this works. I feel like this is probably not the best idea, just because how in the world would you cut this open? I feel like it's not gonna work out, but I figured I might as well try it out anyway. I want to see if I can bend the fingers into a different shape. I think removing the plastic is what's gonna be probably the hardest part, so I'm gonna go ahead and fill it up with the cement. I had like the perfect amount, so it is now in that skeleton hand. I don't think all of the fingers filled up all the way. So you can see right here, there's like this weird space. I don't know what happened. So I guess we'll just wait and see, and I'll cut this open, see how it looks. Hopefully, either way, I think it's gonna look spooky. Now it's time to undo this whole entire thing. I had just dumped the little glass beads out. I still have some left in there, but they'll come out once I start. They're stuck to the duct tape. I'm gonna first take this guy out just by squeezing and pulling. Now I can get to those beads. Alright, so there's what our inside looks like. Can you guys see this? This is kind of hard, but we basically have to cut the skull head so we can remove the plastic. I'm going to take all the tape off first. Now, I am doing this over a sink, but I do want to tell you guys to not like rinse this down the sink because it's cement. So you'll just kind of scoop it up with your hand or a rag and throw those little pieces in the trash. Undo the duct tape and stuff over a trash can. So you probably have like a couple different options so that you're able to get the plastic off. I'm actually going to be using this device here. It burns through wood. I got it from Joann's a while ago. I don't remember what it's called. There's no name on it. But the tip of it gets super hot. It's plugged in right now. And I should just be able to kind of melt through this plastic. Can you hear the water sizzling? I think this will be the easiest option. We'll just be like melting through the plastic. As you can see, it's cutting a line straight through the plastic piece, which is awesome. You're gonna be very careful. This thing's so hot, it will burn your skin so bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw basically a line all the way around the skull head, and then I should be able to remove it. Now for the front, you probably would want to go this way down. I just think it would be easier to split this in half this way. If you don't have one of these, you could always use like scissors or a knife or something to try to cut through this. I just think it would be harder. Even a Dollar Tree saw, I just think it would be harder. I had this tool on hand. You can just kind of carefully remove the plastic, and if you cut all the way through, it should just kind of pop open like this and reveal your really nice skull. You can see some lines right here where the tool we just used turned out really nice though, but you can just kind of wet this down and smooth it out. Honestly, I'll show you in a second here. In order to do that, you'll just take some water and literally go over like this, over the crack, kind of back and forth a little bit, and that will help kind of smooth out that line. You can even take a little bit of sandpaper to go over that little line, but honestly, if you just get it wet enough and use your fingers, it will disappear. So I'm actually going to put some water in the inside. I do have some extra cardboard piece I'm going to try to get out. If I just fill it with water, I should be able to get this out. And I do have that tape that's stuck down in there. I really don't know if that's even gonna come out. Okay, I got the tape. Okay, little piece is stuck. Most of that tape is gone. I just have to go through and kind of go like this to get that kind of cardboard paper roll out of there. It's starting to dry up. You can start to see where the line it was here. It's kind of slowly fading away. The more you rub into it and kind of use your nail, kind of like cut the pieces on the side of it, it'll just like blend in. So I just got done doing my second one. I want to point out, if you use this tool, you don't even need to press that hard on the plastic. You can barely even see the line that I did on this one. There's like a little bit right here. And then I have these weird little areas that kind of popped out from where there was holes that I taped up. I could go back through and sand those, but I'm not too worried. I kind of like these little holes all over. It kind of makes this look like a stone piece or something like that, like not concrete. And there's a little like bubble from the eye. I think it's kind of cool. Also, the top of it, you can see where the cardboard piece kind of like sunk in on the side. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I do like how it has this double layer right here around the edge. It almost looks like his brain is showing or something from inside the skull. So I really like the way this piece turned out. Well, let's go ahead and look at the next one. I wanted to point out this is actually pretty easy. You just take a flathead screwdriver and you can actually carve into this a little bit so we can pop these little circle things off. If it, you know, really bothers you, you just kind of go over it and then run it under some water. So this one I just opened up and I have a little bit of piece right here where the concrete didn't exactly fill in, but I kind of like that each one's a little bit different. This one also is more like flat on the top. The hand is going to be a bit trickier because I do feel like I'm going to have a lot more areas I'm going to have to burn through. And I don't even know if all of the concrete's intact with each other. I'm going to do this off camera and I'll show you the reveal after I'm done cutting it. As you can see, when I started to cut through it, all the fingers actually had broke off. I did manage to get all the pieces of the fingers out. However, I have them grouped together like this is the pinky. They all broke. So I could go back through and glue it together, but I just wanted to show you guys. It's just a trial and error with these type of things. And I definitely don't recommend doing a hand from Dollar Tree just because this was a bit more difficult. The skull heads seem to work out just fine, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to that. If I end up gluing this together, I'll show you guys later. So here I'm just taking a little wick and I'm just gonna hot glue this down in the middle of the skull. It's just super easy. Put some hot glue on the metal part, push it down in the middle, and you're good to go. So I found this pumpkin spice in my scent collection I have, and also some pumpkin pie spice, the actual like spice. So I poured that into the hot wax. I actually just put the one candle on the burner and I let that melt down. It took about an hour or so, and that was on medium heat. After it all melted down, I just went ahead and poured in, like I said, the pumpkin spice as well as the pumpkin pie spice powder or spice. And then I mix it all around, and then now I'm pouring it into the top of the skull heads and filling them up. Then I also wanted to show you, I did glue that hand back together. You can see the glue spots, but I figured I was gonna go ahead and put cement over this again, and that will just disguise the little glue spots. I don't recommend the hand though. Here's a little hand where you could put the candle just kind of setting, you know, in it somehow. Like that, I don't know. Maybe. Now that everything's dried, I can now go ahead and cut down the wick. This one just happened to drip just on the back. I don't really like that look. I do like this look better. I mean, it didn't dry very nicely because I was just shoving wax in at the very end, but I like this polished look a bit better. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. I think it's fun to add a little bit of spookiness like this. I think it just kind of distracts from the concrete piece a little bit. It looks kind of bad with the black wax dripping. I don't know. What do you guys think? But now I'm going to go ahead and trim down my wick. I want it about right where my fingernail is. So it needs to be about 1/4 of an inch, give or take, from the actual wax. About right in here. And that looks good to go. We could start burning it now. For project number 2, I'm going to be showing you guys 4 different versions of making a vintage baby rattler. So you're going to need some of these long sticks from Dollar Tree, as well as possibly using some of this raffia. I got this from Michael's. You can use several different things. Again, I'll be showing you different versions. I did get a couple of these from Dollar Tree. It was the smaller skull and the baby head. I actually took that off of a baby doll from Dollar Tree. So I'm going to be starting with the pumpkin head. I actually took this from one of my lights that I had in my home decor. It actually just hung on a light. So I popped it off of the light bulb, and here we are with it, using it for a project. You can use all kinds of different things for making a baby rattler, as long as it is hollow and you're able to put something inside of it. So I'm just taking my hot glue gun and I'm actually pushing it through the plastic to melt it, to create a hole in the bottom where I'm able to insert the little rod. Once I got the rod through the hole, I knew it would fit. Then I moved on to the next step, which was actually just taking some kernels. You can take beads or whatever you want, but I had some popcorn kernels. I decided to use those, and I just popped them in the top part of the pumpkin head where it was attached to the previous light fixture thing that I had. Then I went ahead and just glued the bottom base of the rod onto the pumpkin head, as well as the top of it. I just wanted to make sure that the little popcorn pieces did not come out the top of it. Then through my craft stash, I found this fabric I had from last year, I do believe. I made some pillowcases out of this. I did get this from Hobby Lobby. So I just went ahead and cut a strip down the side of it. It was just a white and a black strip is all I needed. And I started at the neck of the baby rattler, went ahead and hot glued a little bit there, and pushed the fabric into the hot glue, and started to wrap this fabric around our handle, if you will, of the baby rattler. This rod that you would hold to rattle the head. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through this part, and we'll check it out. And I pretty much did the same type of process. So with the baby doll head, I just filled the kernels in through the bottom. I hot glued the stick down and I held it in place. And then to just seal that bottom portion up of where the neck was, because it was kind of a larger hole, I just cut off some of the fabric I had left over from the first little rattler, and I hot glued that around to kind of fill that gap in with just the fabric. I laid it in 3 sections, and then I just cut the excess fabric off, and then I just put some more hot glue around the middle of it just to secure that piece of dowel, like the wood, to the fabric a bit better. And then I did end up gluing a little bit more fabric around the top there, and I just went ahead and painted all of this black. I went ahead and set that down to dry and moved on to the smaller skull. This little skull I did get from Dollar Tree in a pack of 8. This was again last year. I did the same thing by poking my hot glue gun through the middle of it in the bottom to create a hole where I was able to insert the kernels inside of the skull head. After I inserted about 10 of them, I was then able to hot glue my rod in place. At this point, you could probably stop here, but I went ahead and added some more paint. Again, I wanted to make these a bit more spooky, so I ended up going over the whole skull head in a greenish black color, as well as painting the entire rod black. But for more visual interest, I went ahead and added a little bit of white towards the bottom of the rod. Probably about 1/3 of it was white, 2/3 of it was black. I went ahead and let that one dry as well. I moved on to the skull head that I got this one from Michael's, I do believe, in a pack of 6, and again, this was last year. I just went through things that were in my craft room. So anyways, I went ahead and popped in those kernels into the opening that it had at the bottom. After I glued in the rod, I went in and added some visual interest by putting some painting details all over the skull head. Once I was completed with painting the skull head, I then went ahead and painted the rest of the rod. I just call it a rod, the skewer, the stick, whatever you want to call it. I painted it ombre, so it kind of went from a white down to a gray to a black. It looks so pretty. So I did want to show you guys what I ended up doing with the baby doll head. I got some red orangey raffia, and I just actually twisted it around the baby doll head rattler. That way it just kind of mimicked that whole spiral effect that we did in the first one, but this one was more of a red-orange with black, which I thought looked really good with the baby doll head because of the rosy cheeks. And then I didn't like where the neck was. I didn't really like that too much, so I glued some of the red raffia actually around it. I just unfolded the raffia because it basically is tissue paper folded is basically what it is. So I just unfolded it from its original form, and then I was left with like kind of a tissue paper, I guess, moment. Glued that around the neck of the baby, and then I took some scissors and I cut into it to kind of give this like flared collar. Ended up painting like an ombre from dark to light, just to give a little bit of interest for the piece. Here they are all together. I think they're super cute. Let me know if you would make these or not. There's so many different options you can do. You can use skull heads. You can use ornaments that Dollar Tree has. Reuse different things that you already have instead of buying a whole bunch of stuff to make this. I already had like this little paper stuff. I already had the fabric. I just wanted to make different ones. I think they're super cute. Cute little baby rattlers. You could totally give these to kids for Halloween instead of candy if you wanted to make something fun. They're so much fun, so let me know if you'll make them. Comment down below. For this project, I took a pack of the 8-piece skulls I got from Dollar Tree. I went ahead and used my brass metallic spray paint I got from Hobby Lobby and gave them a quick coat. So right now, I'm working on the base of the project. I'm basically making these cute little trophies, I guess, to give out at a Halloween party I'm going to. I'm going to take 3 of these wooden blocks. These are the Jenga pieces, and I have my hot glue gun. It's ready to go. It's really, really hot. I'm going to move the camera over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is actually just hot glue 3 of these together. And you really just need a little bit of hot glue. But then press them together. And then any extra, like excess, you just kind of wipe off really quick. Go ahead and repeat this step 7 more times. We're going to create 8 of these. I mean, this is what I'm doing. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and just use some black paint and just paint the entire piece. Okay, so the next step after your blocks are dried, now we can just go ahead and glue on our little skull heads right in the center there. Just kind of centering that up. And that's pretty much the project. And I'm gonna make little signs that says like best costume or ones that say scariest costume. I'll just figure out how to do that. But this is pretty much the overall little piece that people will receive as a little trophy for participating in the Halloween costume contest at the party. And again, this is not my party, but I am participating in kind of helping out with decorating and getting prizes and stuff around it. That literally took me like 30 seconds to just do the rest of them. Super simple project, but they're so cute, and this would look really good on like a bookshelf on top of some books. So you could actually keep this as a little souvenir at a Halloween party. So I think they're fun just to make for your guests. So another really fun, cool DIY, I'm going to be using these mini glass containers. You get a pack of 6 at Dollar Tree. Again, these are going to be little pieces that I'm going to use to give to people. for the Halloween party. This one's super simple. We're literally just gonna fill these up with something fun. So you're gonna need to pick up some of this styling gel. I got this from Dollar Tree, as well as some food coloring. And that's basically all you really need to do this project. I'm gonna get a bowl and mix up a batch, and then I'm gonna funnel it into the little glass container. So I decided I'm gonna actually just use this little squeezer bottle. I got a pack of 2 of these from Dollar Tree. I figured this would be a lot easier because it has this little applicator where I can just squeeze it on out into the little bottle. So, oops, I'm gonna make up different batches. So you'll just take your styling gel. I'm gonna just squeeze some in there. Oops. I like to add a little bit of dish soap, just a little bit. I mean, you can do whatever you want. And then for this one, I'm adding in 2 drops of the green, 1 drop of the yellow. And there's our color. So we just need to mix this up really well. And then we can squeeze this into our little bottle. Just tip that over. There's our little potion. Once you're all done, like, with your potion, and that's kind of like how you like it, you can then go ahead and take the little cork, and we're just gonna hot glue that on so that you can't open this. Hot glue it on, then they can't open it up so that you don't have stuff kind of spilling everywhere. But this is just a cute little potion. I'm going to put in the little grab bags when people get to grab candy and all that. We're giving out little baggies, so these will be in there. They're just little fun potions, just for fun, you know. Yellow. Add this 1, 2, 3 drops of yellow. This is just a fun, simple little project. And it's not really harmful. It's just styling gel and dish soap and food color. But it does look like a cute little weird, like, fun potion. It's like mainly the color that you're trying to get. I really like this color. So this one was more yellow than this one. Okay, and now I have 4 more bottles. Now the last one I want to do is more of on the blue side. Just gonna pop this open again, and I'm gonna do 5 drops. Oops, I think I did 6. Add in some more of the gel and shake. Isn't that fun how the color just changes right before your eyes? And I love that with the little bottles, you can see how it kind of curves up like this. I love that look. And that's because, like, the gel is kind of sticking. I just think it's so fun. So you can kind of dump it this way and let it drip, you know? All right, so let's go ahead and check out this color. It's more of like turquoise. Not exactly what I was going for, but that's okay. And here they are all grouped together. I think they turned out lovely. I love these colors. I think they're so pretty. It's almost like an ombre, something like this. So I think these will be so much fun for the party. I can't wait to see what everyone thinks. I hope nobody tries to drink them because they're not shots. I'm going to be trying to make a cute little hand broom. So I got this little spindle thing. I took this off of a chair I found on the side of the road. It was just like on one of the back pieces of the chair. The chair was falling apart anyway, so I just took pieces apart, and here I have a piece I can work with. I picked up these from Dollar Tree. I got 3 of them, little scarecrow pieces. I'm going to be using this as the broom corn. Got some twine from Dollar Tree and some wire and cutters to cut the wire. Alright, first I'm going to remove all these pieces from this decor piece. Alright, we got our broom corn ready to go. Now I'm just going to take this piece and we're just going to insert this into the broom corn, like right here in the middle. That's in the middle. So I could either flatten this out like this. I think I'm gonna go with the string. I think it will just match a bit better. We're gonna tie a double knot around that chunk. Okay. Then you just take your string and you're gonna weave it in and out over. So I wanted to show you guys the broom that I finished. I'm going to show you different ways you can kind of style it. So right here I just have it laying across this large bowl I'm loving and obsessed with. I got this from Tuesday Morning. It was labeled $20, but it had this little kind of nick on it, so she gave me 20% off, which I love that. I also got this wooden bowl from Tuesday Morning for about $10, and this pumpkin from Hobby Lobby. This was probably the most expensive thing ever, but I love it so much. It's beautiful. I just kind of put the broom laying like this. This is one way. Be a really another great option is just to set it down inside of something where it's sticking upwards. Another option, which I won't really be able to show you guys, you could drill a hole in the top and then put some leather cording through it and then actually just hang it up on the wall so it's hanging downwards. I think I might do that eventually, but I wanted to hurry and get this video out because fall. But I love this wooden piece that I got from an old chair. I think I'm gonna make several more of these brooms and maybe eventually polish off the end, but for now, I think it works with this like rustic look of the broom. I hope this can weather over time, and you can always spray these pieces. Broom corn, you can spray it so it smells good, and honestly, this is actually useful. You can actually use the broom. I've tried it out and it works. But With mine, I'm actually just going to lay it up here just like this. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope it inspired you to create some fun fall and Halloween DIYs for your home. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Leave me a thumbs up and a comment below and I'll get back with you. Let me know which project was your favorite and which ones you will be trying out. I just reached 4,500 subscribers on my channel. I just want to thank everyone who is subscribed and supporting me on my DIY journey. And as always, have a blessed week. I will see you guys in Friday's video. Bye!